Welcome to this episode of Bias Hacking for Conversation Designers, the Vocalife series exploring how different kinds of cognitive biases interact with the work of conversation designers and offering insights on how to mitigate them. Today, we'll be delving into so-called halo effect. Starting from, what is halo effect? So according to the definition of the Decision Lab, the halo effect is a cognitive bias that claims that positive impressions of people, brands, and products in one area positively influence our feelings in another area. The halo represents the positive light that we place upon people or things because of certain external characteristics. So because of their apparent halo-like qualities, we may be subject to overestimating the worth of people or things. An example of the halo effect is when one assumes that a good-looking person in a photograph is also an overall good person. This error in judgment reflects one's individual preferences, prejudices, ideology, and social perception. But how does this affect conversation design? Let's bias hack this. Of course, a disclaimer is always due that we are not claiming to cure the incurable or fix the unfixable. Bias are part of us and will always be. What we're doing here is more like a thought exercise, and it's not a method to get rid of bias forever. But here are some ways that we can become aware of and deal with being halo-affected designers. First tip, which you might already be familiar with if you've been following the bias hacking series, is to always go back to research. We all have developed prejudices in our lifetime. Research is our best bet to spot our own defects and make better informed decisions. Second point is about being aware of how you present your ideas to others. Presentation will matter, and being able to give visual aids can help. On the other hand, when listening to someone else's idea, try to consider only the single statement or idea and forget about anything else you know about them. At the same time, as we're all big fans of constructive feedbacks in the design world, we should always be suspicious of people who are always negative as much as of those who always agree with you. If you feel like someone is only saying yes because they trust you, be doubtful. As designers, we should also try to be aware of the ways halo effect can impact on our users. So the first thing halo effect reminds us of is that the success of our chatbot really depends also on the surrounding context. If the UI looks bad, users will have no desire to engage in a bot, or they might not even be able to notice it exists. The second thing we should be reminded of is that your bot's persona is part of your brand. So when you're establishing how your bot will sound like, think if it's worth underlining the positive associations customers already have with your brand. And if you don't know what users like your brand for or how it's perceived, it's probably time to knock on your marketing's department door or start a little social media web sentiment analysis project. These are just a few situations where the halo effect can impact our work as conversation designers. Let us know if you can think of any other example, and in the meantime, check out our other videos in the series Bias Hacking for Conversation Designers. Bye, or like we like to say here, bias for now.